So I work with a lot of firms and I realized that most law firms have no clue what their marketers are doing with their SEO. They've been paying for years and years without seeing any benefit out of it. Hi, this is Awais. I am the founder and CEO of Time Technologies. We are a law firm focused agency and we help law firms get the most out of their marketing budget, as well as we improve their operational efficiency using workflow automation and AI automation. So today we are going to talk about three important steps when you're building foundation for your law firm's SEO. Number one is why website speed is your secret weapon. And then we're going to talk about the internal linking. And the third one is going to be the local SEO. So I have taken out two different firms who are listed on the first page of Google, but one firm ranked on number 1, whereas the other one ranks on number 10. And we're going to see what is making that difference between these two firms in terms of Google ranking them. So if you look at the first firm, which is the number 1 right now, you might notice that this firm has an excellent core web vitals. They have an LCP in the green range. They have amazing INP. They have almost no layout shift. They have great FCP and a little bit issue here, but that doesn't really matter when you have such good scores overall. But if you look at the firm 2, you might realize that they have about 1 second later, which means that when their website loads, it's about a second slower. Then they have the largest contentful paint, which is 2.9, whereas their largest contentful paint was actually about 1.6. So again, there's a big issue. And then obviously the speed index shows that it's just very, very high. Now, both metrics might look a little bit different to you. And the reason is that this is basically the real data because they already have a lot of traffic that Google is taking data from. And that is the real traffic that Google is looking at, where this is a simulated traffic because Google doesn't have any data on this particular website. Now imagine this, right? And you guys need to understand this. If a person is obviously goes and has a problem, maybe slip and fall or anything like that, they pick up their phone and they want to urgently contact their attorney. Now, when they're already in a hurry, they're already in distress, what's happening is that this website is loading in 1.6 seconds, where the person has to wait about 2.6 seconds to actually load this website. And then obviously the things that appear on the website takes about 2.9 seconds. Now, within this time, the person will bounce off because obviously speed matters and Google knows this. And as the data accumulates, Google knows that the website which loads faster is going to help the user who needs help right now. So naturally, Google will rank this particular website on top rather than this website, which has obviously problems with its website speed. So a lot of people think that a slower website can be ranked, which is possible, but then you have a major disadvantage in 2026 when you are not optimizing your website for speed, because people have a higher bounce rate when your website isn't loading, and that signals to Google that your website is slow and it is ineffective. So moving on to the next part, which is the internal linking, and that's one of the major things which a lot of SEO guys fail in. So let's have a look at this particular form. So I took out the piece of content from slip and fall cases for both of these personal injury firms in NYC, and you might see the firm that is ranking on the first page on the first position has a relatively good internal linking, because here is another page they're linking which is kind of related to this content that they're writing. You might see that they're not stuffing this keyword anywhere in the other sections of the content. In fact, they have pretty much highlighted it, put a link there, and now it's really, really working for them. So obviously the Google knows that it has a roadmap for a person to see and go through. But if you look at the firm two, you realize that what they're doing is, number one, they do not have any pages with storm in progress. What they're doing is they think that this is a keyword that is ranking. So we'll just put a keyword here, and then we will put the keyword again here. And this is a classic example of keyword stuffing. Now, Google thinks that you are stuffing the keyword intentionally, which you are obviously, and Google knows this. And it was a strategy that was used way before, I think, 2018s, and people used to rank on it. But a lot of marketers still doing it, and it has a negative correlation with the amount of conversions and traffic and how Google ranks you. So this is not a good thing. Now, why internal linking is so important? So I'm just going to give you an example like this, right? In 2021, I visited Thailand, and I did not have any idea of the place, right? So naturally, when I went to this place called Maya Bay, I hired a guide. Now, guide was there because he was telling us that this is the first place you got to go. You'll find something here. And then from this place, we're going to go to the next island, and then you're going to find something new here. And then you're going to go to the third island, and you're going to find something new here. So as he mapped the journey, everybody in the group knew that what they would achieve at the end of this journey. And what you're doing is he is basically optimizing the group for a very, very great adventure, an epic adventure. Now, with this adventure, when we look at the other, website, you might realize that there is a person who claims to be a guide, but then when this person has some group of people who want to know more about where to go next. So what he's doing is he's not telling the name or showing the picture or linking to the next place. In fact, he says, all right, we're going to go to island 1, and then we're going to go to island 2, and then we're going to go to island 3 in the same place. In fact, what they're doing in this is they are actually saying, I'm going to go to island 1, I'm going to go to island 1, I'm going to go to island 1. Now, as a user, they do not have a map or a roadmap that how this guide is going to make our adventure really, really nice. In fact, they're just hearing the same repeated words again and again, and they're getting bored. And when you do that, actually, Google gets bored. And if Google gets bored, then your website will not rank, because obviously Google is looking at how well you have mapped the journey when the user clicks on the page, and then when he navigates through that page to a different or higher intent page, and then he books or converts on that particular page. So it needs to have a perfect setup, a perfect structure of internal linking, which means one page is linked to another highly relevant page and then the next. So now we are moving towards the third part of this video, which is going to be the last part in this video, and we're going to cover a lot in the videos that are coming up. So let's look at the local SEO and intent. So look at the firm 1, what it is doing. So they have written 3 blogs. Actually, they've written a lot of blogs, but I took 3. And then you might realize that they are answering the question that who is liable for slip and fall in New York City. So they're hyper localizing it. And then they've said when you should call slip and fall. So this is the main keyword in Rochester. And then the same thing in Buffalo. And what they've done is they have written a unique content with the local landmarks. They have cited different things there. They have used the same jargon as people use there. So it is highly relevant to person or people who are basically searching a personal injury lawyer in Buffalo or personal injury lawyer in New York City or Rochester. So people aren't finding you by just typing best personal injury lawyer, but they're doing best personal injury lawyer near me. And when Google knows that that person exists in Buffalo, obviously, if you have written a content piece or you have a structured page or service page related to Buffalo with that particular term, Google is going to naturally rank you. Now, have a look at the firm 2. Now, in firm 2, when I basically searched and saw that they have also written about slip and fall, so you might see that they have used the same storm in progress, and then it's New York, and then again somewhere in New York City, and then in New York City. So what they're doing is they are basically optimizing for the New York City only, but when people are searching, they might go hyperlocal. So today, obviously, this firm is fighting with the giants, and also it's fighting for so many people who are using the same keyword with New York City, where they have actually diversified and then intensified their content around particular locations so they can capture high intent leads rather than people just searching casually. So what I basically need to tell everybody and people who are listening right now, they should listen, they should actually know that intent is the number one factor that you need to optimize your keywords for. So when somebody says near me, they should get the results with their current location. Now, a lot of people ask me, how can we basically rank our website or rank a page on our website if there's so much competition? And I say, if there is competition, we have to get to the neighborhoods or small, towns, and then even small locations or even zip codes, because as you hyper localize your law firm searches, that means a lot of people who are basically in a certain area within that big city, you're basically capturing those high intent searches, and naturally your website can beat even the number one website because they are writing about only the cities and towns, but you're now going in suburbs and even smaller portions of the same town. So that is the number one way you can actually rank your website or certain pages. So what we today learned is that not only the website speed matters, which is obviously one of the biggest factors, but a clear path to the user who lands on your page without keyword stuffing. And also, you need to have a clear journey for that user so he can convert on your website and stays on your website for a longer period of times, and does scrolls and clicks so that the Google knows that you basically have great content written on the website. And the third thing is hyper localization of your content. So Google can refer back to your content when somebody in that particular local area is searching for a solution of their problem. So if you want to discuss more, you can definitely hit me up with a DM, send us an email that is in the description, and let's talk about your goals and how you can make your law firm rank number one in your area.